Welcome to my channel World of Coins, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. In the world of American coinage, few coins carry as much history and patriotic symbolism as the Kennedy half-dollar struck in 1976. This special edition coin was created not only to honor the late President John F. Kennedy but also to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the founding of the United States. The bicentennial celebration of 1976 was one of the largest national events in American history. Across the country, people came together to remember the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and to honor 200 years of freedom, democracy, and national pride. The Kennedy half-dollar played an important role in this celebration. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. This image first appeared on the half-dollar in 1964, following Kennedy's tragic assassination, and it quickly became a symbol of hope, remembrance, and leadership. On the bicentennial edition, the obverse remained largely unchanged, with Kennedy's dignified profile facing left. Around his portrait are the inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the dual date, 1776 to 1976, marking 2 centuries of American independence. It was the reverse of the coin, however, that received a bold new design for the bicentennial year. Instead of the usual presidential seal, the coin displays a dramatic image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia. This was the building where the Declaration of Independence was signed and where the spirit of liberty was born. The design of Independence Hall was created by Seth G. Huntington, an artist whose work captured the historic significance of the building. Above the image are the words, United States of America, and below it are the denomination, half-dollar, and the phrase, 200 years of freedom. This design brought history to life in the palm of one's hand. Every time someone held this half-dollar, they were reminded not only of Kennedy's legacy but also of the long journey of America itself, from its beginnings in 1776 to the nation it had become in 1976. The Kennedy bicentennial half-dollar was struck in both circulation and collector versions. Millions were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for everyday use, while the San Francisco Mint produced special proof and silver-clad versions for collectors. The circulation coins were made of a copper-nickel composition, while some collector versions were struck in 40% silver. The silver issues, with their heavier weight and brighter appearance, quickly became prized by collectors and patriotic Americans. For the general public, these half-dollars were more than just money. They were souvenirs of a once-in-a-lifetime event, the bicentennial of the United States. Families often saved them in jars, albums, or display cases as keepsakes rather than spending them. Although many of these coins were saved, finding them in pristine, uncirculated condition today can still be a challenge. Coins that have never been touched by human hands or spent in circulation carry a shine and detail that set them apart from the rest. Proof versions, especially those with deep cameo contrast, are especially stunning. The sharp details of Kennedy's portrait and the fine architecture of Independence Hall look almost three-dimensional under the mirror-like surfaces of these coins. Collectors around the world value the bicentennial half-dollar not only for its beauty but also for its significance. It is one of the few times in U.S. coinage when both the obverse and reverse design were altered to celebrate a national event. Error coins add even more excitement to this series. Off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchets are highly sought after, as they represent rare and unusual variations of a coin already full of meaning. The Kennedy half-dollar has always had a strong following in the collecting community, and the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial issue is one of the highlights of the entire series. It bridges American history, from the founding fathers to modern times, in a single design. The presence of Independence Hall on the coin makes it especially meaningful. This building is not just a piece of architecture, it is the birthplace of American democracy, where the principles of liberty and equality were first declared to the world. At the same time, the portrait of Kennedy connects the coin to a modern leader who inspired millions of Americans during his presidency. The blending of the past and the present is what makes this coin truly unforgettable. During the bicentennial year, Americans collected these coins eagerly. They were given as gifts, placed in time capsules, and kept as mementos of the nation's 200th birthday. They became part of family histories, passed down from generation to generation. In the numismatic market, demand for high-grade bicentennial Kennedy halves remains strong. Collectors are willing to pay substantial amounts for coins that are graded at the highest levels, especially those with brilliant red, white, and blue-themed packaging from the original release. Over time, the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar has become one of the most recognizable American coins. Even people who are not coin collectors often recognize it and remember its unique dual date and design. For many, holding this coin brings back memories of 1976, a year filled with parades, fireworks, and a deep sense of national pride. It was a year when America looked back on its past while looking forward to its future. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar is not just a piece of metal, it is a piece of living history. It connects the American people to their heritage and reminds them of the enduring values of freedom and democracy. Collectors often remark that this coin feels different from others in their collections. It is not only valuable but also deeply meaningful, symbolizing both remembrance of Kennedy and celebration of America's bicentennial. As the years pass, the significance of this coin only grows. Younger generations discover it and become fascinated by its story, ensuring that the legacy of the bicentennial half-dollar will continue well into the future. Whether kept in a coin album, displayed in a case, or held in the palm of your hand, the Kennedy bicentennial half-dollar remains a symbol of America's past and its promise for the future. It stands as proof that coins are not only tools for commerce but also carriers of history, memory, and national pride. Few coins illustrate this truth better than the Kennedy half-dollar of 1776, 1976. And for the most exceptional examples of this coin, preserved in flawless condition with sharp detail and radiant surfaces, the value can reach as high as $230,000. Top 2. The Kennedy half-dollar has long been a coin that captures the imagination of Americans, and the 1972 edition is no exception. Struck less than a decade after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin carries with it a legacy of remembrance, hope, and national pride. By 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a familiar sight in pockets and purses across the country. First issued in 1964, the coin was embraced by the American people not only as currency but also as a way to honor the memory of a beloved president. The obverse of the 1972 half-dollar features the profile of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His portrait faces left, showing strength, confidence, and leadership. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty," the national motto, "In God We Trust," and the date 1972. The reverse of the coin was designed by Frank Gasparo and depicts the presidential seal. At the center is a proud bald eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing America's balance of strength and peace. Above the eagle's head is a circle of stars, representing the states of the Union, while the inscriptions, "United States of America," and "half-dollar," encircle the design. Together, these elements make the Kennedy half-dollar one of the most patriotic coins ever struck. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, Denver coins bore a small D, and San Francisco coins carried an S. The majority of coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver were intended for circulation and were composed of copper-nickel clad, while the San Francisco Mint struck special proof versions, some of which included silver-clad compositions. This difference in composition makes the San Francisco issues especially appealing to collectors. The silver versions not only have added intrinsic value but also a brighter, more lustrous appearance compared to the copper-nickel circulation coins. Most 1972 Kennedy half-dollars were used as everyday currency, but many were also saved by the public. Families often put them away in jars or albums, not necessarily for profit but as mementos of a president who had inspired the nation. The coin's design itself carried deep symbolism. At a time when America was still navigating challenges like the Vietnam War and political change, the Kennedy half-dollar was a reassuring reminder of unity, courage, and resilience. Condition plays a critical role in the value of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar today. Coins that have been heavily circulated show wear on Kennedy's hair, cheeks, and jawline, as well as on the eagle's feathers. In contrast, uncirculated examples shine with their original mint luster, displaying sharp details in Kennedy's portrait and in the intricate reverse design. These are the coins that collectors prize the most. Proof coins, especially those with deep cameo contrast, stand out as some of the most beautiful examples of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. Their mirror-like fields and frosted designs create a striking appearance that continues to impress collectors. Errors from 1972 also add excitement to the series. Some coins show double dies, off-center strikes, or even issues where the details were weakly struck. These anomalies make an ordinary coin into a fascinating rarity. For collectors, the thrill of discovering a rare variety or a high-grade example of the 1972 half-dollar is part of what makes numismatics so rewarding. Each coin tells its own story, shaped by how it was struck and how it survived over time. Auction records reveal that exceptional examples of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar have sold for impressive sums. Coins that are certified at the highest grades, especially those with flawless surfaces and strong eye appeal, can bring remarkable prices. What makes the Kennedy half-dollar especially unique is its role as both a circulating coin and a memorial piece. It was not just created to be spent, it was created to keep the memory of a fallen leader alive in the hands of the people. The 1972 edition reflects the ongoing popularity of this series. Even nearly a decade after its introduction, the Kennedy half-dollar remained a coin that people wanted to collect and preserve, ensuring its place in history. For many Americans, these coins also carried personal meaning. They were given as gifts, kept as keepsakes, and cherished as reminders of Kennedy's vision for the country. Collectors today appreciate the 1972 half-dollar as a bridge between the early years of the series and the later issues that would follow. It represents a time when the coin was still widely used in circulation, making pristine examples harder to find today. The artistry of Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo continues to shine through in this coin. Their designs have stood the test of time, combining elegance with national symbolism in a way that resonates across generations. While millions of these coins were minted, their true rarity lies in condition. Perfectly preserved coins are scarce, and those with errors or unusual variations are even rarer, fueling the passion of collectors. The Kennedy half-dollar of 1972 is also part of a larger story, the evolution of American coinage in the 20th century. It reflects changes in minting technology, design, and public sentiment. Even today, finding a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar in pocket change can be a small thrill. It serves as a reminder of history, artistry, and the enduring legacy of one of America's most admired presidents. For advanced collectors, completing a full set of Kennedy halves, including the 1972 edition in multiple varieties and conditions, is a rewarding challenge. It is a goal that combines patience, knowledge, and a love for history. The coin continues to captivate because it is more than just metal. It is a symbol of remembrance, unity, and pride, connecting Americans to a moment in history that still resonates today. And for the most pristine, high-grade examples of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, preserved with dazzling surfaces and flawless detail, the value can reach as high as $224,000. Top 3. The Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most recognizable coins in American history, and the 1981 edition holds a unique place in the long-running series. Struck nearly 2 decades after the coin first appeared in 1964, the 1981 half-dollar reflects both continuity and change in U.S. coinage. By the early 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar was still being produced in large numbers, but its role in everyday commerce had diminished. Fewer people used half-dollars in daily transactions, yet collectors and the general public continued to hold onto them as keepsakes. The obverse of the 1981 coin carries the enduring portrait of President John F. Kennedy, created by Gilroy Roberts. His strong left-facing profile had become an iconic image by this time, symbolizing leadership, optimism, and the memory of a president who inspired millions. Surrounding Kennedy's portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1981. Despite changes in minting technology over the years, the design remained faithful to the original look that first captured the hearts of Americans in the 1960s. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's detailed depiction of the presidential seal dominates the coin. A bold eagle spreads its wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, representing both strength and peace. Encircling the eagle are stars that symbolize unity across the states. The inscriptions, United States of America, and half dollar, complete the design, reminding those who held the coin of the nation's values and the office of the presidency itself. The 1981 Kennedy half dollar was struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins show a D, and San Francisco coins bear the S mint mark. Philadelphia and Denver focused on circulation strikes, while the San Francisco Mint specialized in proof coins for collectors. These proof coins, with their mirrored fields and frosted designs, remain some of the most visually stunning examples from 1981. Unlike earlier years of the Kennedy half series, the 1981 coins were composed entirely of copper-nickel clad. Gone were the silver issues of the 1960s and early 1970s, marking a new era in U.S. coinage focused on affordability and practicality. Even without silver, the 1981 Kennedy half dollar continued to attract interest. For many collectors, it represented another piece in completing a full set of half dollars, stretching from 1964 through modern times. Condition remains the key factor in the value of these coins today. Circulated examples are common, but high-grade uncirculated and proof versions are much harder to come by, making them prized by dedicated collectors. Proof sets from 1981 are especially desirable because they included the Kennedy half dollar as one of the highlight coins. Deep cameo proofs, with sharp frosted devices and mirror-like fields, stand out as some of the finest examples. Error coins from 1981 also fuel excitement in the numismatic market. Off-center strikes, double dies, and other minting mistakes create fascinating varieties that collectors love to hunt for. For those who appreciate history, the 1981 Kennedy half dollar reflects an important time in America. The country was entering a new decade, technology was advancing rapidly, and the coin itself stood as a connection to the ideals of leadership and unity. The coin also symbolized continuity. Nearly 20 years after Kennedy's passing, his image still appeared on millions of half dollars each year, ensuring that his memory lived on through the nation's coinage. Collectors often enjoy comparing the subtle differences in strike quality between the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco issues. Each mint had its own characteristics, and these distinctions can influence both rarity and value. The Kennedy half dollar has always been more than just currency, it is a piece of history. And the 1981 edition continues that tradition, reminding us of both the past and the enduring importance of honoring leaders who left a lasting mark. For new collectors, the 1981 half dollar is an approachable coin. Circulated examples are easy to find, but the challenge lies in seeking out pristine uncirculated or proof coins that show every detail of Roberts and Gasparo's designs. The artistry of the coin deserves appreciation. Roberts' portrait of Kennedy conveys dignity and hope, while Gasparo's presidential eagle embodies national strength. Together, they make the Kennedy half dollar a work of numismatic art. Auction records reveal that the very best examples of the 1981 half dollar can bring impressive sums. High-grade proof coins, particularly those certified with deep cameo contrast, are among the most desirable pieces. The coin also carries emotional value for many Americans. Families who collected coins in the early 1980s often saved the 1981 half dollar as part of their collections, passing them down through generations as mementos. What makes the Kennedy half dollar series so enduring is its connection to memory, history, and artistry. The 1981 edition is a continuation of this tradition, ensuring Kennedy's legacy remains alive in the nation's coinage. Collectors today still search rolls, proof sets, and auction catalogs for the best 1981 Kennedy half dollars they can find. Each discovery brings with it the thrill of owning a tangible piece of history. Even though millions were struck, only a fraction remain in top condition. These are the coins that stand out, commanding the attention of collectors and investors alike. The 1981 Kennedy half dollar shows how even modern coins can carry incredible value, both historically and monetarily, when preserved with care. It remains a coin that blends patriotism, artistry, and remembrance, making it an enduring favorite among collectors across the globe. And for the most exceptional surviving examples of the 1981 Kennedy half dollar, preserved in flawless condition with striking detail and beauty, the value can reach as high as $195,000. Top 4. The Kennedy half dollar has always held a special place in American coinage, and the 1983 edition is no different. Struck nearly 2 decades after its introduction, this coin continued the tradition of honoring President John F. Kennedy while adapting to the needs of a new era. By 1983, the Kennedy half-dollar had been a part of U.S. coinage for almost 20 years. Though it was once common in circulation, the half-dollar was becoming less visible in everyday transactions. Many Americans had grown accustomed to smaller denominations, while the half-dollar increasingly found its place in collections. The obverse of the 1983 half-dollar features the familiar and iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, this profile captures the late president's charisma and leadership, symbolizing hope, energy, and inspiration for generations. Surrounding Kennedy's image is the word liberty, while the motto, "In God We Trust," appears below, and the year 1983 sits proudly at the bottom. The simple yet powerful inscriptions emphasize the values of freedom, faith, and history. The reverse of the coin, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal. A bold eagle spreads its wings wide, holding arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing strength balanced with peace. Above the eagle, a circle of stars represents the Union of the States. Around the edge of the coin are the inscriptions, United States of America, and half-dollar. The reverse serves as a timeless reminder of national pride and the enduring significance of the presidency. The 1983 Kennedy half-dollar was minted at both Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins feature a small D mint mark just above the date. Unlike earlier years, the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar was not produced in silver. Instead, it was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, the same material used for most circulating U.S. coins at the time. Interestingly, 1983 was a year when the U.S. Mint did not issue official mint sets for collectors. This makes uncirculated examples from that year scarcer than usual, since most coins entered circulation. Collectors today prize these higher-grade survivors. Proof coins were struck only at the San Francisco Mint. These coins, identified by their S mint mark, were included in proof sets sold directly to collectors. Their deep cameo contrast and mirror-like fields remain stunning examples of the artistry of U.S. coinage. Because regular uncirculated coins from 1983 were not widely preserved, finding them today in pristine condition can be a challenge. Many available coins show circulation wear, making mint-state examples highly sought after. For collectors, the 1983 half-dollar is a fascinating piece, bridging the gap between the earlier decades of Kennedy halves and the modern issues that would follow. Its relative scarcity in top condition sets it apart from many other dates-era coins from 1983 add even more intrigue. Variations such as off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned mint marks bring a sense of uniqueness and rarity to this year's production. The historical context of 1983 also adds meaning to the coin. America was experiencing technological advances, cultural changes, and global challenges. Through it all, the Kennedy half-dollar remained a steady presence, a reminder of leadership and resilience. Families who received these coins in change often held on to them, not only for their value but for the memory of Kennedy himself. By 1983, his legacy was still deeply felt across the nation. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services often bring premium prices at auction. Collectors who specialize in Kennedy halves know that the 1983 issue stands out as one of the more challenging years to obtain in flawless condition. The artistry of Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo deserves appreciation. Their combined designs have endured for decades, turning an everyday coin into a miniature work of patriotic art. Even though millions of 1983 half-dollars were minted, their scarcity in mint-state condition means they carry greater numismatic interest than many other modern issues. This makes them a rewarding find for any serious collector. The proof versions from San Francisco also hold special appeal. Their crisp details and striking finishes showcase the coin at its very best, making them highlights in proof sets from that year. For casual collectors, the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar often sparks curiosity. Its design, symbolism, and backstory make it a wonderful entry point into the broader world of numismatics. For advanced collectors, however, the challenge lies in finding those elusive high-grade circulation strikes. These coins, carefully preserved against all odds, are true treasures of the Kennedy half-dollar series. The coin also carries emotional value. It reflects both remembrance of a great leader and continuity in American coinage, a tradition that began in 1964 and continues even today. Holding a 1983 half dollar is like holding a piece of living history. It is a coin that connects the past with the present, reminding us of the enduring impact of John F. Kennedy's presidency. Collectors often remark that coins like the 1983 half dollar are more than just money, they are tangible symbols of memory, artistry, and national pride. The Kennedy half dollar has always been beloved by collectors, and the 1983 edition stands out as a special chapter in its story. It remains both a challenge and a prize in the world of numismatics. Even now, decades later, the 1983 Kennedy half dollar continues to attract attention. Whether discovered in circulation, purchased at auction, or found in a family collection, it carries with it a story worth telling, and for the most flawless, well-preserved examples of the 1983 Kennedy half dollar, the value can reach as high as $196,000. Top 5. The Kennedy half dollar series has long been a favorite among American collectors, and the 1992 issue holds a fascinating place within its history. Though it may appear to be just another circulating coin at first glance, the year 1992 brought with it changes, surprises, and collector appeal that continues today. The obverse of the 1992 Kennedy half dollar still proudly features the portrait of John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, this profile remains one of the most recognizable images in U.S. coinage, symbolizing leadership, hope, and inspiration even decades after Kennedy's presidency. Around Kennedy's portrait is the word liberty, an expression of the values America has always cherished. Just below, the motto, "In God We Trust," is boldly displayed, while the date, 1992, sits at the bottom of the coin. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, the intricate presidential seal takes center stage. The eagle, with its wings spread wide, holds arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, representing both strength and peace. Surrounding the design is the inscription, "United States of America," and "half dollar." By 1992, Kennedy half dollars were no longer widely seen in daily transactions. Many Americans rarely received them in change, as banks did not commonly distribute them. Instead, they became more of a collector's item than a coin used for commerce. The Philadelphia and Denver Mint struck circulation coins in 1992, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions. The Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, Denver coins displayed a D, and San Francisco coins carried an S. One of the most important milestones for the 1992 Kennedy half dollar was the reintroduction of 90% silver proof coins. For the first time since 1964, the Mint offered a special silver-proof version as part of its prestigious silver-proof sets. This meant that in 1992, collectors had access not only to the standard copper-nickel clad half dollars but also to a higher-quality proof version in silver. The silver proof instantly became a favorite among numismatists for its sharp details and mirror-like finish. The clad circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver were produced in large numbers, yet high-grade examples remained desirable. Many coins entered circulation, where they quickly developed wear, scratches, and bag marks. For collectors today, finding a 1992 Kennedy half dollar in pristine, mint state condition is a rewarding challenge. Grading services often assign higher values to coins that survive in superb condition. The San Francisco proof strikes, both clad and silver, stand apart for their beauty. With frosted designs against mirrored backgrounds, these coins highlight the artistry of Roberts and Gasparo in striking detail. The silver proofs are particularly valued because of their precious metal content and their role in reviving silver coinage for collectors. They symbolize a turning point in the Kennedy half dollar series. Beyond condition and composition, errors from 1992 also attract attention. Double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws can make a 1992 half dollar significantly more valuable than its standard counterparts. These rare errors are the kind of surprises that collectors love to discover. They transform an already interesting coin into a numismatic treasure. In the broader historical context, 1992 was a year of transition in America. The end of the Cold War was reshaping world politics, while domestically, the nation prepared for new leadership in Washington. The Kennedy half dollar stood as a continuing tribute to a president whose vision for America still resonated. For many families, Kennedy half dollars carried sentimental value. They were often saved in rolls, jars, or keepsake boxes, passed down from one generation to the next as symbols of memory and tradition. even though the half-dollar was no longer a coin of daily use, it remained a visible reminder of the past, linking younger collectors to the history of the 1960s. Auction results for 1992 Kennedy half-dollars in flawless condition demonstrate their appeal. While many are common, the very best examples, those with perfect strikes, untouched luster, and no blemishes, can command high premiums. The silver-proof half-dollars often shine the brightest in collections. Their brilliance, rarity compared to circulation strikes, and silver content all add to their desirability. For new collectors, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar is an excellent starting point. It is modern, affordable in lower grades, yet full of history and character for those willing to explore its details. For advanced collectors, the goal is often to secure all versions: the Philadelphia clad, the Denver clad, the San Francisco clad proof, and the San Francisco silver proof. Completing this set captures the full story of 1992. The designs by Roberts and Gasparo endure, decade after decade. Their artistry continues to remind collectors of the vision and leadership that Kennedy brought to the nation. Holding a 1992 Kennedy half-dollar, whether clad or silver, is like holding a piece of numismatic history that bridges the early days of the series with its modern evolution. The coin represents both continuity and change. Continuity in its enduring design, and change in the return of silver coinage for collectors. It is this duality, tradition and innovation, that makes the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar such a compelling issue for numismatists. Collectors often remark that coins like the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar are more than just money. They are miniature works of art, reflections of history, and symbols of memory. Even now, decades later, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar continues to spark curiosity, whether discovered in circulation, purchased from a dealer, or inherited as part of a family collection. And for those rarest, most pristine examples of the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar, the value can reach as high as $130,000.